Yeah. Evening. Happy Monday evening. Hope everybody had a good weekend. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? First sip of the day. Real good luck. So, I had to say something, right? Right? Sure. If those, that don't know what I'm talking about already, have you guys heard of the drone problem in the Northeast yet? What the fuck? What a joke this administration is, by the way. Because we all know who the was it Department of Transportation that is. Old Petey Booted dead judge that thinks buses are racist. That's the guy that's in charge of shit. I've been watching, paying attention, whatever. Benny Johnson had a great take. Had a couple clips on. Yeah. The funny part is people are like, if it has a red, and I mean, I'm not an aviation specialist by no means. I mean, I spent some time in the, New York National Guard Aviation Support Battalion. I spent time, good 11 years there. All I know is if it has a red and green dot light that's flashing, it's probably not an alien ship. And it's definitely not what this, I don't know what he was, Democrat or Republican. Obviously a fucking warmonger said it was from a fucking, their drones off a mothership from Iran or some fucking psycho fucking thing. The best explanation I got that kind of makes sense to me is that somebody oopsied with some nuclear waste possibly or something else because allegedly the United States military has the technology of these nuclear sniffing drones or something, and they can tell or see it or whatever. And obviously it's somewhere in the Northeast, around Jersey, New York City, even though people are starting to allegedly see them out in Arizona or something. I haven't seen too much about that one yet. So yeah, it's a, and it's funny. I seen this other dude made a post on InstaFace of how just desensitized we're all, most of us are now. We're like, yeah, whatever. Nate, is the world ending today? Do I have to go to work today? Or should I, can I stay home today or should I go to work today? That's where I would say most of us are. I really don't give two fucks. Until I see some the mushroom cloud or whatever, or when the power and the internet and everything goes out all at once, I'm not worrying about shit. Yeah, it'd be kind of neat to know what they are and where they're from and all that. But I mean, does anybody at this point think, regardless on who's in the White House, that we're going to get a fucking straight answer from Big Daddy G? Now, if it was after January 20th, I'm sure we would probably get some sort of answer. Whether or not we get the entire truth, all depends on what the entire truth is now, doesn't it? Because was it Big Daddy Don just tweeted the other day or whatever, why don't we shoot one of these motherfuckers down? Well, if it's ours, why would we shoot our own shit down? And he's getting briefed on stuff. I'm sure you guys seen, he had a little press briefing today or whatever. And he's like, of course the government knows what they are the government. So if you are excited about it, calm your tits. If you're like me, yep, I'm going to work tomorrow. Fuck it. Now, the one thing that should worry the fuck out of you, and I implore you to go to Vigilance Elite on YouTube because he posts what ones they won't take down. He posts his entire interviews. This one's only about an hour and change. Yeah, it's a little long-winded, but I implore you to watch it. It's with Sarah. I believe her last name is Foster, code name Superbad. She is a former CIA targeter. So she worked during the 20 plus years of GWAT finding all these fucking goat fuckers all over the planet and all that shit. And she's got some really scary information. So drones are the farthest from a threat right now, from what I gathered from the interview that I listened to about 3/4 way through it right now. These are not the same fuckers that we've been fucking with for 20 years. These guys are trained, well trained. There's a training video that he shows a clip of on the interview. If you watch it, like I said, I implore you to watch it on the YouTube. I mean, when they go to their training camps, they use aliases, so they don't even know each other's names. They got suicide vests now where the explosives are non-detectable to our airport security and our dogs. And there is a viral clip of her talking about it, and she's correct, 100% correct, that Americans don't know what it's like to have a suicide bomber pop off somewhere. You know, we've had a couple small somethings, but nothing like the AT&T car bomb thing a handful of years ago. No one was killed. Maybe there's a driver in there, I can't remember. But those of you that know what I'm talking about, like the Taliban are real. And oh, by the way, Osama bin Laden's son's running the thing, but our CIA, our government doesn't want to recognize that. So it took the UK's government to leak it to their news people, but our news won't touch it because the CIA told them not to. No, you don't talk about that. So yeah, there's some bad shit that's coming up. I believe it's not a if, it's a when is going to be a terrorist attack here on American soil. They're getting ready. They're already here. There's over 1,000 of them that are here already. And it's going to make 9/11 look like a fucking walk in the park. And I've talked about this before. Again, he had her on. I mean, it was probably the last time I talked about it was probably the second time he had her on. This is the third time he's had her on talking about stuff. And she writes a monthly or a weekly, almost like a sitrep situation report that goes out onto his website and shit. Maybe I'll start printing those off and we can do a situation report on Mondays. So, yeah, it's not looking cool. Now, luckily for me, I don't live, the closest city is a half hour for me, and that's Syracuse. So, but Dirty Bomb, Subway, these fuckers are looking for mass casualties like this time. Like I said, they're going to make 9/11 look like, let's to put it in perspective, okay? 9/11 was, if you believe in that, was executed by what? A half a dozen dudes with a budget of like $150,000, $200,000. We've been paying the Taliban since Biden's been in office $80 million a fucking week. A week! What do you suppose they can buy with that money? And by the by, speaking of wars and bad guys, it's all this shit going on in Israel. You know, October 7th, I believe, was the day that happened. Nothing happens on accident. She had correlated that was the same date that Bush Sr. Bush Jr. kicked off OIF, was on October 7th. So they have a thing with dates. It's fucking weird. There was a correlation between 9/11. There was some sort of meaning behind that date that went back to the 20s when a Westerner did something in the Islamic states or whatever. They want total world domination. There is no talking to these people. The UN won't even designate them. You know, they want them, they want to be recognized. The UN wants to recognize the Taliban. God forbid that they're actually categorized as a terrorist organization that we fought for the last 20 fucking years. Men and women died for, but oh, that's right. We'll just throw all that shit away, right? We don't just fucking forget about that. They're coming. They're here. They're going to do something. That's all I know. So hopefully the A team that Trump is putting in place, they're on their fucking game, because there's a possibility of a lot of fucking people getting hurt. That's all I know about that. My hypothesis and the facts that she was laying out in said podcast. So like I said, I implore you to watch that. If you're not already subscribed to his channel on the YouTube, Sean Ryan Podcast, fucking awesome. He's got a lot more diverse group on, and it's always very informative about stuff. He had a Chinook pilot on a week ago, 2 weeks ago. That was a great fucking interview. He was part of like every major operation. And if you watched Lone Survivor, he was one of the pilots that brought those guys up on the mountain to retrieve that, the SEALs that died on the mountain. He was part of the operation, went and got Marcus Luttrell. I mean, name the major operation that had aircraft in it, especially obviously Chinooks, because he's a Chinook pilot. He was probably fucking there. The guy did like 32 years. Long interview, but I listened to it back and forth to work, whatever. Me being a military guy interests me. I thought it was fucking cool, but definitely check out this last one with a super bad ton of fucking information. Fucking, yeah, I'm kind of a little bit nervous because they're looking for tens of thousands of casualties this time. We had about 3,200 and something people that perished on 9/11 in New York City. I mean, we're talking 100, not 100, but we're talking a shit ton more people. So, and they're a lot more skilled, technical savvy. They got all of our shit that we left over there in Afghanistan. Thanks, Joe. Good job, dummy. So, yeah, shit's fixing to get really real, really quick. Y'all keep your powder dry. I appreciate you. Let me know what you're hypothesizing about all these dumb fucking, this drone shit. It's just the government fucking around and not telling us what they're doing. That's all it is. Because even, what was it? They came out not too long ago. Hey, by the way, aliens exist, and what most of us do. Okay, whatever. Do I gotta go to work tomorrow? Oh, I do still? Okay, fuck yourself. Until the day comes I don't have to go to work the next day because shit's hitting the fan, I really don't care. I appreciate y'all. We'll talk to you soon. We'll see you.